Alright, it's time to face the ugly, ugly truth. I need another wheel. Since Jason of Ewheel is having a whole lot of trouble sourcing parts from NINEBOT for my Z10, it's likely going to be quite a while, and I'm talking about months before I'll be able to get my Z10 back on the road. And as much as I enjoy the relaxing pace of my IPSi 5, unfortunately I have gotten hopelessly addicted to the speed and power of the Z10. And since many of you had asked about what wheel you should get, I figured this would be a good opportunity for me to talk about EUC enthusiast's favorite pastime, wheel shopping. Oh, it's on! Roll the intro! As always, if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. So none of the things that we have tried so far worked, and Jason now thinks that the motor control wires likely melted, which would require a complete replacement of the motor, so the Z10 is getting shipped back for repair. Alright, once again, I think it is time for a disclaimer. This is all nothing but my own personal opinions, and there are certainly other people out there with far more knowledge and experience than I do. Furthermore, electric unicycle are pretty expensive as a thing to buy, so it will be a good idea for you to do as much research as possible and don't just listen to my dumb opinions only. But no need to panic, and I will say this: if you're looking for a starter wheel, as long as you stick with one of the popular brands such as InMotion, Hsiang, or Gotway, and I'm gonna leave NINEBOT out of it for now, you will likely be okay, as long as you stick with wheels that has been manufactured and sold within the last 2 to 3 years. Now I know I have mentioned this before, but one of the reasons that I really enjoy riding my electric unicycle is the fact that it feels very much like an extension to myself, because you're mainly controlling it by shifting weight and body positioning. Yes, it does make it a little bit hard to learn initially, however once you get it, it really becomes second nature, sort of like snowboarding. And the freedom of movement it offers is truly addicting, since conversely, when it's taken away, it's like getting a limb chopped off. It's like, remember in grade school when you were told not to run in the hallway and how miserable it was to endure the slowness of trudging along while time slowed down to a crawl? That's basically how it feels to have your wheel taken away, which is the reason why it is common for an electric unicycle rider to keep multiple wheels back up in case if one of them were to fail, since the prospect of walking around is unpleasant. The number one challenge of wheel shopping is the lack of information. Electric unicycle is still in general a pretty niche hobby, and even though in our heart we all know that it is far more superior than all other forms of personal electric vehicle, and I will explain why in a little bit, it is still by far the least popular form of PEVs. And that translates to smaller manufacture, a lesser amount of selection when it comes to product, and worse, a lack of information in regards to exactly what it is that you're actually buying when it comes time to purchase a wheel. Electric unicycles are expensive. This was one of the things that I had trouble wrapping my head around initially. Many of the popular wheels like Gotway MSX and the Hsiang 18XL easily cost north of $2,000. Now think about some of the other products that you would spend this much money on. Perhaps a smartphone or a camera, or even, I don't know, a bicycle.
more than likely they come from large companies that offer warranty, after-sale services, and just as important, a marketing department to get the word out about their own product. But instead, the EUC company that you will likely be purchasing your wheels from offer none of these services. For instance, let's talk about a company that is, pretty popular, perhaps you heard of it, Gotway. I wonder what's at Gotway.com. Furthermore, if you decide to stop by AliExpress, which is one of the more popular marketplaces where a lot of the EUC nerds like to go to purchase their wheel due to the better pricing they can get by going directly with a China-based shop, you'll see some pretty bizarre products like this or this. And who is NINEBOT? Of course, the more experienced EUC shopper will immediately know what are the good products, what to look for, as well as whom are the more reputable seller that you can trust with your hard-earned money.
But when I was starting out, this was all terribly confusing. And the reason behind this, I think, is also connected to the reason why we love the electric unicycle. And that is its simplicity.
Electric unicycle is a mobility device boiled down to its very essence. All it is a large battery pack to provide the energy source and a hub motor married to a single wheel to translate all that energy into kinetic movement. This is also why that despite their relatively smaller size, EUCs typically offer far more performances and range than any other vehicles.
That simplicity combined with little to no regulation means that small manufacturer with just a few engineers utilizing generic parts can produce a functionally decent and occasionally brilliant electric unicycles. And the only reason why they're so expensive are that the cost of the generic parts utilized, especially the battery, is very high.
These companies usually does very little to no marketing since they're mostly operating on a shoestring budget. Also, what's worse, they have gotten into the habit of releasing multiple iterations of the same product. So it is entirely possible that you would not have a definite idea as to the specification of the wheel that you're paying for, and you would certainly not have the opportunity to test ride the wheel, especially if you want the latest and the greatest in wheel technologies. All of that is to say that you pretty much have to rely on the reputation of the company and the wheels themselves, which unfortunately oftentimes aren't that great, or the opinion of random stranger on the internet like me.
Now, some people operate under the illusion that they will purchase a single wheel and be satisfied, so they go for wheels that are jack of all trades, such as the Hsiang 18XL or the more performance-oriented Gotway MSX. For me, right from the get-go, when I was thinking of purchasing my very first wheel, I had already come to accept that I'll likely purchase multiple wheels, having seen the addiction ran its course with more senior member of the EUC forum. So I primarily were interested in an electric unicycle that has particularly exotic traits. I love my Z10 for its beautiful design as well as its unique riding qualities. And despite my whining, I do also love my PSI 5 for its amazing portability and maneuverability.
So when it comes time to find that third wheel, the same rationale apply. And I suspect some of you may already know where I'm heading with that line of thinking.
Of course, I thought about the 16X. Having had the opportunity to ride it extensively really made it very tempting. However, remember that girl you briefly dated after having been dumped by your very first long-term girlfriend back in college? The rebound? But no, she wasn't really it.
Like the 16X, the rest of the Hsiang lineup were also eliminated since they all shared the same speed cap at 31 miles per hour, which was a little bit too close to the max speed on the Z10 at 28, which leave only one other candidate, as you may have already suspected, Gotway, whose design philosophy of allowing their rider to push the performance envelope on their wheel as close to the edge of disaster as they like, where the top speed of 40 miles per hour had not only been exceeded, but now by a comfortable margin.
The 100-volt M Super X was pretty near the top of the Gotway list. Technically, the fastest wheel in production currently, it strikes a balance between the greater torque a smaller wheel can offer and better stability at speed from a larger diameter wheel. But we're not really looking for a balanced wheel. We're looking for peak performances, and that road led to only one wheel, the Gotway Monster V3, an undisputed king of speed and smoothness.
I have only had a brief opportunity to ride this wheel thanks to Hsiang a few months ago. Not really enough to get a sense of what it would really be like to own and live with this wheel. The fact that it is now a 3-year-old design with Gotway having made very little changes except for small cosmetic things to the wheel over the past 3 generations also made the decision a little bit harder, since you're always wondering whether or not there's the possibility that a new version of the wheel will be released the following year. In the end, what pushes the decision over the edge is its ginormous wheel and the associated reputation for power and smoothness, as well as the opportunity to buy a mod wheel from an elite seller who would fit one of the largest battery packs ever installed on an electric unicycle to the wheel that I would be buying. The only hurdle now is the wait on the painfully long shipping time from China.
Anyhow, look at the time. Once again, you wasted 10 minutes of your life listening to me yap. If you enjoyed the video, let me know what you think, and if there's any topic you'd like me to cover in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll love it if you help me out and spread the word. Until the next video, thank you.